Hi guys, my name is Trinh and today I'm here to do my May and June wrap up. So for the month of May, I did not do a wrap up because it was such a busy month and I only read 2 books. I decided to wait until my June wrap up so I can do just, you know, this like both months. Here's the thing, I'm filming this really early. I think today is the 25th. I have to film this video today because tomorrow I'm going to Vietnam with my family. So I know for a fact I don't have time to film a wrap up video in Vietnam because it takes a lot of work and I don't feel like filming in Vietnam. Not really. I just want to have fun and vlog, you know, for a different video. But other than that, I don't want to do like a professional sit down video like this. So I decided to do this video pretty early, like a few days early, you know, because it's only the 25th. It's not like the end of June. Whatever I read or watch, I will talk about them in my July wrap up. So like I said, for the month of May, I read 2 books, and then for June, I read 4 books. I watched 3 movies, and then I have 1 song to talk about. As of now, I have only watched 2 movies, but tonight I'm watching Toy Story 4 with my boyfriend. So after we watch the movie, when I get home and all that fun stuff, like later in the future, in like a few hours, I'm going to talk about Toy Story 4 for like a couple of minutes, but that clip will be at the very end. The first book that I want to talk about is Descendant of the Crane by Joan. So for this book, I read this with Chloe, Spencer, and Melanie. So basically, honestly, in April, Chloe from Books with Chloe asked me to be one of the co-hosts for the May live show. So the book for Books with Friends is or was Descendant of the Cranes. Now some trigger warnings for this book: vomit, suicide, blood, and violence. So the main character in this book is Hasina. I believe a few days before this book started, her father, who was the king of this kingdom, he was murdered. So she's going out of her ways to try to find the murderer. One of the ways she has to do that is to be the queen. So she becomes the queen and then she allies herself with this magic user. Oh yeah, I forgot about this book a little bit. So basically the magic people in this book are called soothsayer, but the thing is magic has been forbidden for the longest time, and people who have magic powers or magical abilities, they're like illegal. Not illegal, but you know, people want to kill them. So it looks really bad. I didn't have the best time reading this book. It took me a month to read this book and the pacing was just really off in my opinion, and I'm glad that I was not the only one who have bad opinions about this book, because if you watch the live show for Books with Friends, Chloe didn't even finish this book. Spencer finished this book, but he didn't like it at all, and I feel like out of the 4 of us, Melanie likes it more than like all 3 of us combined. Let's start with the writing. So the writing style is definitely something that I have noticed when I was reading this book. Sometimes I like it, but sometimes I don't. There are some good quotes in this book, I will say that, but at the same time, things are so obscure. For example, there is a scene where Hasina kisses the love interest, and I kid you not, when I was reading that, I was just like, did they kiss or not? It's just like the writing style makes it sound like they didn't really kiss, but they did kiss. It was just really weird, and I know for a fact I was not the only one who had this problem. Like Spencer notices this, and we talked about it in the live show. I'm just gonna refer back to the live show because we spent like an hour talking about this book. And also, oh my god, the plot twist. There's so many plot twists in the last half of the book. I'm just kind of sick of it. I think Spencer explained this really well in the live show. He basically says that after so many plot twists, it basically feels cheap. Afterward, I'm just annoyed by the plot twist because I feel like I cannot appreciate one big plot twist, because as you're reading the book, there's another one, and then you have to adjust everything to fit into the other plot twist. It's just I'm tired. As of the characters, I did not connect to any of the characters, to be honest. There's a few that I like, but at the end of the day, I'm so indifferent to all of the characters and the situations that they're in. And then also Hasina, the main character, and the love interest, Akira, I believe, their relationship feels so off, because I understand that at the beginning it's an ally kind of thing because she needs his help, and then they kiss, but it was really weird, and then at the end it was just off altogether. And like I said, I'm just so indifferent to everyone in this book. So overall, I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars. I originally gave it 3 out of 5, but I changed my rating. Like the more I think about it, I just have to change it. So yeah, 2 out of 5. I was very disappointed in this book. The second book that I read in May is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. So if you don't know, I am rereading the Harry Potter series and it's been really great. I'm so fucking slow comparing to 2017 because I reread the books in 2017. and I finished like all 7 books in like a month. But this year I'm really slow. Like I read the first book in January and I finally finished this one in May. If you don't know, this is the second book, and basically in this book Harry and Ron and Hermione have to deal with the beast from the Chamber of Secrets, and that's all I'm gonna say because I do have an entire video for this book. I will have it linked in the cards and then also in the description box below, but I'm not gonna say much just because I talk about this book already in a different video. I gave the second book 4 out of 5 stars, and I talk about why I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars in the other video, so watch that one if you want to hear my review, discussion, everything in that video. Right now I'm just gonna say I read this book in May and then I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. So now we're in June. We have 2 movies to talk about. The first one is Detective Pikachu. I watched this with my boyfriend because we were planning to watch this for the longest time, and you know, we finally did. And if you don't know, this movie is a Pokemon movie, and it's kind of different because it's like in real life and then the Pokemon are like CGI. Like this is very different from like the show. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember the main character's name. So fuck. So anyway, the main character, his father disappeared, and then he meets Detective Pikachu, and then they go on a mission to find what's going on. So here's the thing, I don't love this movie. I feel like people love this movie and my boyfriend love it, but like I don't. I'm such a big fan of Pokemon that when something different is happening, I'm just like, I don't like this. But I try to watch this movie with an open mind. Like I really tried, but there's a few scenes I don't like at all. The battle scene, it was really quick. It was resolved so easily. I don't want to say I don't like the love interest, I just don't like the relationship between those two. Obviously there's something romantic going on, but I felt nothing. Like absolutely nothing. So yeah, I give this movie 3 out of 5 stars. I don't love it at all and I don't want to watch it again. I'm sorry if you're disappointed in my review, but at the same time, if you love it, that's fine. And if you want to watch it, then go watch it. But it's just like, for me, I don't love it, okay? I don't. The second movie that I want to talk about is Always Be My Baby. Maybe. This movie is on Netflix. It stars Ali Wong and Randall Park, I believe. So when it comes to this movie, I was excited for like the first few minutes because I found out that Ali Wong, like her character Sasha Tran, is Vietnamese. The last name is pretty obvious, and I just really appreciate the fact that one of the main characters is Vietnamese, and I love the fact that she's so successful. This movie is basically about these 2 characters when they were young. They live in San Francisco, I believe, and they were best friends and everything. But then when they were teenagers, something happened and then they fell apart, and then 15 years later, I want to say, I could be wrong, but like at least a decade later, they reunite. And then yeah, before I watched this movie, I've heard some really great things from my friends. So when I finished it, I was so disappointed. The thing that threw me off is their relationship. So basically they got into a fight, and that's why they just fell apart and they never talked to each other. And a part of me is like, if you guys were best friends and everything, I feel like this little thing, or it's not a little thing, but it's a pretty big thing, but at the same time, if you guys are like good friends and best friends, then you guys would have worked through that instead of just stop talking to each other. They literally have not talked to each other for 15 years. So that part threw me off a little bit. And then also Keanu Reeves, is that how you say his name? Basically, this famous actor that everyone is thirsty for, he's basically himself in the movie. He's Keanu Reeves. I was just like, what is the purpose of this character? Because he's literally in it to be like a douchebag, because he is a douchebag in the movie. And then also he delays the 2 main characters' relationship. And not just that, another problem that I have with this fucking movie, basically before I watched this movie, I read the synopsis, and it basically says that these 2 best friends, they fell apart, they get together when they're adults, but they have a hard time fitting into each other's world because Sasha is like a famous chef and all these things. Randall's character is basically there. We literally see that problem between the 2 main characters in the last 30 minutes of the movie. This movie is 1 hour and 45 minutes, and I get to see that in the last 30 minutes. So basically a bunch of things happen and it keeps delaying them getting together, and once they get together, they have a problem going on, and we see that in the last 30 minutes. So of course everything has to be wrapped up really quickly because the movie is about to end. So as I was watching this, I was just bored by that point. I didn't even have a high expectation for this fucking movie, and I was still let down. I'm so disappointed that I did not enjoy this movie because I wanted to like this movie. And of course, Ali Wong, I think Ali Wong is Vietnamese because I looked it up. I was really shocked that her character, Sasha Tran, is Vietnamese. And that's amazing. Like I said, like I love that so much because it feels fucking good. Like, because I'm Vietnamese. I just didn't like it, to be honest. So I gave this movie 3 out of 5 stars. Like, I could have given a 2 out of 5, but I wanted to give it 3 out of 5 because I just really like the fact that Sasha Tran is Vietnamese. That feels really good, you know? The first book that I finished in June is Roomies by Christina Lauren. So if you don't know, I love Christina Lauren so much. They are actually a duo, Christina and then Lauren. When it comes to their standalone books, I feel like it's hit and miss. Like when it comes to Dating You, Hating You, it's like up there. I didn't really like that. I read that last year, but I didn't really like it. And then this is the second standalone book I have read from them. When it comes to their adult romance novels, this is the second standalone book, and I was let down. Let me tell you the synopsis real quick. I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves right here. The main character, Holland, basically her uncle, Robert, I love Robert. I love her uncles actually. Her uncle is a director of this famous Broadway show. So let me take you back. Holland has this crush on this guy named Calvin. So he's a musician and he plays, you know, in the subway in New York. And basically in the very beginning, she gets attacked by this drunk man and Calvin is the witness. But all he did was call the police. He disappeared. And turns out he basically dipped because he's staying in the United States illegally. I mentioned that her uncle is the director of this famous Broadway show, so she hooked Calvin up and Calvin auditioned, and he's a fantastic musician. And of course they cannot hire him because, like I said, his visa is expired, he's in the States illegally. And then Holland has this brilliant plan to marry the guy so he can stay in the United States. That's the basic synopsis, and like I said, I'm so disappointed in this book. Before I go into my review, I just want to say that this is an adult romance novel, so there are explicit sex scenes in this book. Now let's get to my disappointment. Like I said, I was so disappointed when I finished this book. Halfway through the novel, I realized that I did not care for the main characters, which is crazy because they're going through a pretty serious problem, but the stakes are so low that I just did not care. Like I said, Calvin is in the United States illegally, so you know, they get married and then they have to go through this huge process to make sure that they're like really in love. The immigration part is in this. It's just resolved so quickly. We see Holland and Calvin making sure that everything is good. Oh my god, they lie and all that. It's not fun. It's pretty illegal. Like I said, the situation was resolved so quickly, and that's not realistic because, like I said, what they're doing is illegal. The immigration storyline, I just didn't buy it, to be honest. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only one because I did read a few reviews on Goodreads. The two characters that I genuinely love in this book are Jeff and Robert. They are the uncles of the main character, Holland. And I love that they care a lot about Holland. I just love them so much. I just really appreciate the uncles, and they're like the side characters. Another character that I want to talk about is Lulu. So she is the best friend of Holland. She sucks so bad. There were so many red signs that she is a toxic person, and I hate the fact that Holland notices that but still keeps her around. Like there's like a few scenes where Calvin is like, I don't really like Lulu, like Lulu's actually being a brat. There were so many red flags, and Holland admits that, but she still keeps her around until the very end. Literally the last chapter is when she cut ties with Lulu. I was not even satisfied because I feel like she should have done it by the middle of the book. There were so many red flags. It's so obvious, but she literally did not do it until the very end. Last chapter and everything. I was not even happy by the end. Like I was just annoyed. Speaking of the ending, the last 100 pages is just messy. It's literally so messy. I was listening to the audiobook and I could not believe what I was reading because, or like what I was hearing, because how did we go from like point A to point B so quickly and everything is just a mess. Basically there's lies and miscommunication between Holland and Calvin because by this point they're in love, but of course there's lies between these two people, and Calvin lied about this marriage thing to his parents. Just a lot of horrible things happen, but at the very end I was so confused how they got together, or like, you know, how they got back together so quickly, because the whole time I'm thinking to myself, did Calvin fix the problem? Because by this point it's kind of Calvin's fault. He lies to his wife. That's one of the main reasons why they broke up. And when they get back together, I just didn't buy it. You know, like I was just waiting for him to be like, hey, I'm sorry for all these things. He doesn't apologize. I don't remember him apologizing to her, and I don't remember him telling her that, hey, I fixed the problem and I'm sorry for lying to you and all these things. I was just really pissed by the end. The thing that's really funny to me, and I find this fucking hilarious, is that in like the last 100 pages, there's a character that's mentioned. Her name is Naling Wing. If you don't know, Wing is a very well-known Vietnamese last name, and I fucking laugh when I saw Naling Wing because that's my sister's name. Her name is Naling Wing, and I was laughing so much, and I legit took a picture of that page, sent it to my sister like, hey bitch, you're in the book, but then I tell her not to read it. So overall, I give this book 2 out of 5 stars. Another book that's just so disappointing to me, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna continue reading like Christina Lauren's books because like I love them, and I know that there's like a few books that are good, like people tell me that they're good, but this is not good in my opinion, so you can skip this one. So a song that I want to talk about real quick, this is called Angel by Phineas. So if you don't know, Phineas is the brother of Billie Eilish. I believe in my April wrap-up I talk about Billie Eilish and her new album. I think it's fucking good. And also I found out that her brother was the one who produced all of her songs. He's dating a YouTuber named Claudia Salewski, and I love Claudia so much actually. So they're in love. Is so pure, and Phineas wrote a few songs about Claudia, his girlfriend. So this is his newest song. This one is called Angel, and it's beautiful. It's like 5 minutes long, but I don't care. It's so good. It's so beautiful, and I legit like was tearing up when I was listening to this because I'm just here like, damn, this man loves her this much. Like, he wrote a song about her. This is not his first song too. He wrote a song called Claudia. It's about her and everything. So this one is also about Claudia, and it's just so pure. It's so good. It's genuinely beautiful. So I highly recommend this song. I think it's so freaking good. It's really sweet too. So I give this song 5 out of 5 stars obviously. So I cannot wait to listen to more songs by Phineas because I know he's a very talented musician. Like, he plays a lot of instruments and he's a really good singer. So I cannot wait to discover some new songs from him, or like some old songs from him. I just have to like go out of my way to do that shit, okay? So this song is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The next book that I finished in June is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. This is the 3rd book of the Harry Potter series. Like I said, I'm rereading the entire thing, and I'm not gonna talk much because I did film an entire video for this book. I'm pretty sure the video will come after this video, so I just have to edit it and then, you know, put it up. So everything will be linked down below when it's up, okay? Basically, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are in their 3rd year, and then this murderer named Sirius Black has broken out of Azkaban, and it's a big thing because no one has broken out of the prison before, so he's like the first, and that's all I'm gonna say. And it's so good. Oh my god, I forgot how good this book is. I'm not gonna talk much about it because I do have an entire video for this book. My brain, holy shit. I just have to edit the video and then put it up, and then you guys can see it. But as of now, I'm just gonna say that it's so freaking good, and I give this book 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm so excited to read Goblet of Fire because that's my favorite book from the Harry Potter series. So yeah, this was really good. Highly recommend this book if you have not read it yet. The next book that I want to talk about is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. Some trigger warnings for this book: conversion therapy, homophobic slurs, and homophobia. So this book follows our main character named Tanner. So Tanner and his family lives in Provo, which is a Mormon LDS kind of place. So Tanner is bisexual. So when he was in California, you know, before this novel started, he was an open bisexual teen. But when he moves to Utah, he has to keep his sexuality a secret. I believe he's in senior year of high school. Yeah, he's in high school. I don't know why my brain is so slow today. He's a senior in high school. It's his last semester, and his best friend Autumn convinces him to take a seminar where he gets to write a novel for the entire semester. And then of course he takes a seminar, and then the mentor in that seminar is Sebastian's brother, who is the love interest, and Sebastian is Mormon, but he's also gay. Let's talk about the characters real quick. The 2 characters that stand out to me in this book are Tanner's parents. His mom and his dad are so wonderful because they're so supportive of their son. They know that Tanner is bi, and I love the fact that throughout this book they show nothing but support for him. They literally wear pride merch. It's so wonderful, and I love the fact that they always repeat to him like, you know, we're always here for you, we always love you, we always accept you. And I'm glad that Tanner knows that he has a really good family support system, and is so wonderful to see that. And then also, let's talk about Sebastian. So if you don't know, Sebastian is Mormon. He's a love interest. He's gay. He's very conflicted with his sexuality and then also his religion. But then I like how towards the end we have come to the conclusion that it's not really the religion. It's more about the community and his parents, because he's the bishop's son. And like I said, homophobia is in this because people from like the Mormon community don't understand what it's like to be gay. The one thing that I genuinely don't like, maybe two things that I don't like, but this one irks me a little bit, okay? There's a scene towards the end between Tanner and his best friend Autumn. Things happen and I fucking hate it. I hated it because I thought this scene between them was so unnecessary. It's such a big deal, and the way they handle it makes it sound like it's not a big deal at all. The fact that we moved past it so quickly, I was like, wait, what the hell? We're not gonna talk about this? Like, guys, this is a big deal, and I'm so glad that I'm not the only one who's bothered by this, because when I was reading that, I was just thinking to myself, like, what the fuck is going on? It baffles me sometimes. Let's talk about this topic real quick. So like I said, the main character is bisexual, and throughout this book, there's like a few times where some people were like, hey, you're a bi, you're also attracted to girls, why aren't you, you know, attracted to girls, all these things. It's basically the assumption that since Tanner is also attracted to girls, it means that his life is a little bit easier because he has another option. And I'm here like, excuse me, what the fuck is this? Biphobia and bi erasure exists. I feel like there's a few scenes where we can have this mature conversation, but we never really did, and I was really disappointed because, like I said, there's potential to have this kind of conversation, you know, like how being bi is not really easy because there's always the assumption that you're capable of cheating. So yeah, I was really disappointed that we didn't have that kind of conversation in this book. Overall, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars because like at the end of the day, I really enjoyed this book, and I'm glad I read this book in June, Pride Month and all that fun stuff. Even though I have some issues here and there when it comes to this book, I still highly recommend this book to everyone because I think this book is very, very important for a lot of people because it does deal with important topics. The last book in this wrap-up is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I have a very odd relationship when it comes to this book. So basically, I decided to start this book in the beginning of March, okay? So I read this book physically. It took me forever. And then by April, like towards the end of April, I had to put it down because I was reading other books. 2 months later, I decided to just finish this entire book, and I did. I finished this book last night at 4 a.m. Honestly, I read up to page 150. And then, you know, I stopped for like 2 months, and then I finished the rest in like a day or two. So I listened to like the last half on audiobook. Now, some trigger warnings for this book: self-harm, attempted suicide, murder, violence, and animal cruelty. So this book follows two main characters named Victor and Eli. So 10 years ago when they were in college, they were roommates, and basically Eli has this thesis about EOs, which are extraordinary people, and of course Victor and Eli decide to test the shit out. So in order to get superpowers, in order to become EOs, you have to die. Like almost die. Literally, you have to survive death a little bit, okay? So these two bitches decide to just fucking try to kill each other a little bit. And then 10 years later, present day, Eli is on this killing spree because he thinks that it's his job to kill EOs because turns out they're evil. On the other hand, Victor has broken out of prison because he was in prison for like 10 years. So yeah, that's the basic synopsis for this shit. Now let's talk about the characters. I really appreciate the fact that we have backstories for almost all of the characters, because we have like Victor and Eli, but then we also have Mitch and Sydney and Serena. So I like the fact that we get to learn a lot about each character and why they are the way that they are, you know, because they're all EOs. Well, except Mitch. Mitch is not an EO, but everyone else is an EO. In this book, we have a lot of characters who have different superpowers. So Victor, he can take pain away. So if you're hurting, he can basically touch you and then take the pain away, or he can give you the pain back. And then Eli, he just regenerates really quickly, so he doesn't get hurt at all. Like if you shoot him, he will regenerate and he'll be fine. Serena, on the other hand, she has compulsion. She can persuade you to do anything that she wants you to do. Sydney, oh my god, I think Sydney's power is definitely the darkest. She has the power to bring people back from the dead. When she touches you, or like when she touches like a corpse, they will come back. Besides having superpowers, once you're an EO, it's said in the book that you don't really feel emotions. For example, Victor, he admits this. He doesn't feel guilt, fear, empathy, basic emotions like that. So he's pretty evil in a way, because like once those traits are taken away, whenever he kills someone, he just doesn't feel anything but like triumph. Now the last part of this book, so there are two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 we get to learn like the backstory between Victor and Eli. Part 2 is when shit goes down. Basically there's so much killing. Eli is literally killing people left and right, and we see that in part 2. I was really shook. Okay, and I just want to say that the scenes are very, very explicit. Like we read how Eli shoots people, we read how he pushes this person down the stairs, the neck breaks and everything. Oh my god, it was just insane. The only thing that I'm annoyed with when it comes to this book is Eli's reason to kill the EOs. Basically he thinks he's doing God a favor by killing innocent people. Like I know that they're EOs and such, but at the same time most of them are innocent people, and Eli is just killing them like it's nothing, and he's just using God's name. I just don't like that trope, basically the killing innocent people and then using God to justify the murders kind of trope. So that part annoys me. So the ending was what made me give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. The ending though, I gave this shit a 5 out of 5 stars for a lot of good things, yeah, but the ending though, holy shit, fucking good. I cannot wait to continue with this series. I think it's gonna be a trilogy. I could be wrong, but I know that the second book, Vengeful, is out already. So I cannot wait to read the second book because I want to continue with the story. I want to know what happened after that ending. Oh my god, I definitely want to know what happened next. So like I said, I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. It's really, really good, and I actually recommend the audiobook if you're a slow reader, because I was reading this so slow. Hi, I just want to come in here to tell you that I have watched Toy Story 4. Let's discuss this movie because this was so good. I just saw it with my boyfriend. We just got back, and I have to say this movie was amazing. Like I forgot how good the movies are when it comes to Toy Story. I watched all 3 movies, the first 3, a long time ago, and I genuinely don't remember anything when it comes to the first 3 movies, to be honest. I remember the ending of the 3rd movie. I remember that. So I don't want to give you too much spoilers because the ending of the 3rd movie does play a huge role in this 4th movie. All I have to say is that it was really good. Like it was genuinely good, and I just really missed the characters. After watching this movie, I have to say that Woody is so loyal yet so impulsive. Like I said, I don't remember much when it comes to the first 3 movies, but now that I have watched the 4th one, I really want to rewatch the first 3 movies because it's been years. I feel so damn old. Like as I was watching this, like it kind of hit me that I'm like 21 and I watched the other movies when I was so freaking young. When it comes to this movie, Toy Story 4, 5 out of 5 stars, definitely. It was so good. I cry at the end. I'm not gonna lie, I actually cry when it comes to this movie, and I think it was really good. If you haven't watched this movie, go see it immediately. It's fantastic. Like I miss Toy Story, like the movies, so much. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I really hope I can get this video up on time or like early, you know, because like lately I've been uploading my wrap-ups kind of late, but hopefully for this one I can upload it immediately and, you know, still have fun in Vietnam. Like I said, I'll be in Vietnam when this video goes up. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.